morning. We're getting set up to play here. Okay, hopefully that's reasonably good. There he is. Okay, so who needs mallets? Marimba folks, you need mallets. Okay.
I was just gonna stand in the block. I can go wherever.
Awkward.
Your rosin just took a dive.
Dang
Mystery chunk of
it.
it
The
too.
worst. Just leaving my stuff everywhere.
That's okay. Happens to the best of us.
And the worst of us.
That's true. A great equalizer. Okay, I know we know, but what kind of mallets do we have on the marimba?
Yarn.
Good. What kind of mallets do we have on the vibraphone? Yarn. Are they the same?
No,
They're usually a little bit different. What looks different about the vibraphone mallets?
they're more circular.
They're
They're
They're smaller.
more circular.
Okay. Sure. I don't know that that particular thing is going to always be true. What do we not do, Sam? What do we not do?
A lot of things.
We don't put our little...
Oh,
We don't put our fingers on yarn mallets. Why?
because it gets all your oils on.
Yeah. And those mallets are expensive, so don't ruin them.
That's probably the most expensive pair of mounts.
I might steal them and sell them on the black market.
I know. Sometimes I'm like, if the wrong person figures out how valuable those mounts are, they're going to go missing.
Yeah. It's actually funny, those mallets, like, everybody has them because this instrument is a very common instrument to buy, and they are made by the same manufacturer, so I think they just throw them in. So they're always, like, popping up in band rooms where nobody would ever spend that much money on the mallets, but the manufacturer just threw them in. As a bonus. When I bought my vibraphone, which was used, same thing, the guy was like,
There's some random old mallets.
I was like, you just increased the value of this transaction by $200 for me, but I'm not going to tell you that.
How much are these?
Like $200 for a set.
Ask
'cause-
why.
It's because they're out of production and they were
Uh,
extremely popular.
Even when they were in production, they were pretty expensive.
Yeah.
As far as like from a what's different from a business like manufacturing standpoint, I don't know why people are willing to spend that much money. The like contact noise to tone is really good on them for some reason. So one thing with mallets is you need it to somehow hit an object, but actually what you want is the resonating sound more so than the actual contact of hitting the bar itself, right? And some mallets don't necessarily do that so well. Those mallets are really, really good at it for some reason. Has something to do with the core. They're also just consistently made. They seem to last a long time. Like I use these a lot, which I really like. They sound good.
That's really
But they're much cheaper and they tend to fall apart eventually. I mean, they have a pretty good life. These are probably 10 years old. This one's kind of on its way out. But
It's got lots of life left.
but I just keep buying, sets of them because it's like, I don't know, a third of the cost. It's maybe $70. So if I have to buy it every 3, 4, 5 years, it's not that big of a deal. So I don't necessarily want to spend $200. But my set of those I've had for like 10 years, and they're like, they look flawless, basically.
Yeah. They're a little bent.
Okay, cool. So let's start with some scales.
Let's do it.
All right, let's hear a little what? What should we do? B flat major, maybe?
That's a good scale.
All right, B flat major. 1, 2, ready, go. Jaden, you're excused from alternating today. Everyone else is not.
I appreciate your tenacity.
I got this.
If anyone else gets bit by a dog and can't use one of their hands, you don't have to alternate. That's a rule. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Where are we hitting the bars?
The middle.
The middle. Where are we not hitting the bars?
Over the rope.
Over the string or over where the screw goes in with the glockenspiel? That part of the bar is called the
node.
The node. N-O-D-E. Eli, which means? I don't know.
We're talking in circles.
It's just where it goes through. Noise.
No. In terms of physics, the node is basically where the bar rings the least by a wide margin because of like the physics of the bar. So it's not just because the string goes through, that is part of it, but even if the string goes through there because it is the node point, if that makes sense. So it would sound bad either way, but we don't play there. What should we do next, Sam? Pick a scale. G. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Ella, pick one for us.
Let's do
D
D major.
major. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, good. And let's do one more. Alexis.
A minor.
A minor. Okay.
Which minor?
Natural minor? You don't want to do melodic minor?
No.
A natural minor. 1, 2, ready, go. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, and ready, go.
Notes are hard, okay?
Notes
A
are
and G
hard.
look the same.
Notes are hard, especially in the morning. Okay, is everyone ready to play a little salute to Broadway?
What page?
27A. You can go either way.
Since it was your homework, I'm sure that you practiced it.
I didn't have my book.
Did you reach out to the instructor or classmate about getting a copy of it?
No. I can do
Alright, who wants to wow us with a solo of the salute to Broadway? Anyone feeling confident?
You would have asked me last week, I would have said yes. Not today.
Alright, that's what I thought. Okay, shall we do it together?
That sounds like a great idea.
We'll do it nice and slow. This is pretty slow, right? 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4, and. One, two, three.
He put on the glockenspiel.
So it kind of fell apart, I would say, somewhere there in the middle.
You did great. 10 out of 10.
First two measures sounded pretty good. Okay, let's do just the first line together.
There we go. I win in the morning.
1 and 2 and ready, go. Cool, we'll talk about rolls in a second. So, I didn't post on Blackboard that we were doing this again, but I did did say in class. So we'll share the blame 50-50, but in general, we should probably write down assignments and not just assume that if it's on Blackboard, that's the only way we have to do it. Yes.
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 Potentially.
Potentially.
You might be correct.
Okay, let's do line 2.
Let us just start on measure 5.
Yes, measure 5. Second line. 1, 2, ready, go. Again, 1 and 2 and ready, go. Again, 1, 2, ready, go. Well, let's do the last line. Last line. 1, 2, ready, go. Just that bar again. We have a B natural, yes. 1, 2, ready, go. Last measure. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, last measure, go. Okay, last 2 measures. 1, 2, ready, go. Cool. Okay, why don't you take a minute on your own to practice? What should we maybe think about, Tanner?
Stickings.
Sticky, that would be a good thing to think about.
We good?
Yeah,
Okay.
make noise.
I don't know, but I can't either, so I don't know if it's an us thing or like
What's up?
I can't see it.
maybe it's not smart.
You're wearing glasses? Okay.
I have lenses in the, that I need to go get, but I don't have time to go get them right
Ah!
Don't hit here.
Am I supposed to hit
That's
this?
fine. Okay.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, you can't do 4 rates in a row on
I
them.
can't?
No.
I thought you said that was okay last time since they were on the same note.
Not when it's like eighth notes.
Okay. We're only got like glockenspiel foul. It's definitely
I'm making lots.
Okay, so let's do this. Let me hear the first 2 measures. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Okay, other than whoever just missed a note on the A. not gonna say any names, but I know who it was. Okay, now let me hear the last line, the last 4 measures. Hopefully our lines are the same, the last 4 measures, that's the last line for you. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, ready, go. Okay, cool. So the first 2 measures pretty good. Those 2 measures we just did sucked. Okay. So just a quick thing on practicing, right? I noticed when I was walking around, everybody was playing the whole thing. I heard the first 2 measures lots of times, even though you could all play the first 2 measures just fine when we sight read it. However, when we did it a couple minutes ago, the last line was really, really bad. No offense, but it was really bad. So maybe you spend more time on the part that's really bad and not on the part you can already play. Just as a general practice. Everyone looks very sad that I'm being so harsh right now.
It's because you're telling the truth.
Tears in eyes. Stop. Sam was wiping a few away off his cheek.
You know how he is. What a crybaby.
Okay, so let's break it down. Go back 1 bar, 5 bars to the end. We have the half note F and C. Sticking wise, what's going to happen there?
Right, left.
Makes most sense for it to be right on the C, left on the F, right? Correct?
Yes.
Cool. So, if we know that is an orienting point, what are we going to do in the next measure?
We're gonna start on the right.
Okay, so how would you stick whatever measure that is? Measure 9, I guess.
Right, left,
Right.
Right, left, left, right, left. Okay, that seems to make sense to me.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Can we do just that measure plus the downbeat of the next measure? G, B, G, E, flat D, C. Oh, 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, let's do it again. Oh, 1, 2, and ready, go. Good. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Okay, make sure you're not dead stroking, right? You gotta still let the mallet bounce up. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Okay. So if I were you and I was messing that sticking up, I might write in some R's and some L's underneath my notes. Okay, or even if I wasn't messing up, I might still do it so that I know what I'm doing every time. Makes me feel better. Okay, next measure. C, B natural. How are we sticking this measure?
Right, left, right, left.
Cool. Yep, that makes sense. Can we do that measure and end on the downbeat of the next bar?
Absolutely.
Oh, 1, 2, and ready, go.
Sorry.
If you're playing a wooden instrument, 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, plus the downbeat. What is it, D?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not singing it right. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. If you're playing a metal instrument. Metal. 1, 2, ready, go. Yeah, again. 1, 2, ready, and. Don't dead stroke it. 1, 2, last time. Go. Everybody? 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, and let's finish it out. Last 2 bars. 1, 2, ready, go. Stickings in the penultimate bar. Yeah, right, left, right, left. We do just that bar? 1, 2, ready, go. Don't rush. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, now the whole last line. Whole last line. 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Let's restart. Let's get a good start.
Our last line for us from like the last line.
Yeah, you want the last 4
measures.
bars, right?
I want the last 4. This is
Okay.
why I was asking.
Yeah,
for
and then
my
you didn't get a
answer.
clear answer.
Last 4 measures.
Okay, fab.
If only they hadn't done a new edition. Cash grab, Ken and Wiley. I know what's up. Okay. I'm thinking I'm doing my own cash grab, writing my own book that you guys have to buy. It's a good idea.
How about I'm too broke for that? So
I would sell it for less than Ken and Wiley's book.
I'm too broke for that because of this book. So
For future classes.
There we go. Not for us.
Yeah. So I'll
Next
save them
generation.
money but make me money.
There you
Good
go.
plan, right? So think about it. What could go wrong? Last 4 measures.
Okay.
1, 2, ready, go. 1. Okay, the last note was good.
There we go.
Things before that were not good, but I like the last note. That's called a compliment sandwich. You start with a positive, something that needs improvement, and then you end with a positive.
Yeah.
Sam, I like your shirt. You guys, that was bad. Sam, I like your shirt. 1, 2, pedagogy. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so when we record this week for our video assignment, it'll be a little better, right? I did by Friday, so we have a few days to make it better. Do you need any extensions?
No.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's talk about rolls. What kind of rolls do we use on mallet percussion?
Single stroke.
Single stroke rolls.
Me doing my double stroke rolls.
Yeah, that would sound really good.
And what is a single stroke roll?
You hit it once.
One stroke per hit.
Yes, that is correct.
You alternate super fast. No bounce.
Alternate,
No bounce.
no bouncing. We're trying to get it to sustain. It is fast, but remember, the idea isn't necessarily to play as fast as possible. The idea is to play a rapid enough speed so that it sounds sustained. Okay, so one thing to be aware of is all the different percussion keyboard instruments require a little different approach for rolls. So first of all, we rarely roll on the vibraphone because
It has its own sustain.
there's a sustain pedal. So I don't want to say we never do, but there's only really, it's only if the composer kind of doesn't understand that, or if we're in a situation where the composer does understand that and actually just want like a very different timbre. So I've seen people like specifically write, have a piece where you're sustaining on some notes, but then you're rolling on a sustain note because they want like that kind of different blah, 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 with the sustain pedal. But in general, we don't roll that much on the vibes. Glockenspiel, kind of the same thing, although there's definitely more examples, I would say, of there being rolls written in Glockenspiel, but it tends to also be sort of like a trilly texture.
Yeah.
Marimba and xylophone, we tend to have lots of rolls because, the instruments don't ring as much. Certainly the xylophone does not. The xylophone is the hardest instrument to roll on because you have to roll quite fast most of the time for it to sound good. And marimba depends a little bit on the range. So one thing to keep in mind is our roll speed. I don't want to get too in the weeds on this, but basically our roll speed is going to change based on the pitch, essentially. So if we're playing in the low range of the marimba, okay, we don't need to roll super duper fast. Okay, that doesn't sound very good. It actually doesn't sound that sustained. We can roll it nice, pretty slow. Right, and that actually sounds sustained. If I do, it actually becomes kind of a problem for me. Okay, however, if I roll that fast on doesn't sound very good, right? It doesn't sound sustained. So you need to roll much faster. And even within the course of the marimba, if I go all the way up to the top, you know, if I try to roll, that doesn't really sound that sustained either. I need to roll kind of significantly faster.
Is that why you guys have such insane forearm strength?
Sure.
Yes,
Percussionists
I
have
know.
like insane forearm strength. All of them.
Good.
I'm doing my wrist curls.
The other thing is, it's going to depend on the mallets we're using. So we talked a little bit about this just in general for mallet selection at the beginning of this unit, but it's really very hard to play a roll at the top of the marimba with the soft mallets Jade's using right now. You wouldn't use those mallets up here because they're too soft. It's very hard to play fast enough. It's a little easier to do the opposite. You know, you could play with the hard mallets down low, but it's not going to sound as good, basically. Xylophone just in general doesn't really ring that much, so you just have to play pretty fast rolls. But the same concept applies in the lower range. You can roll a little slower where lower range we really need it. You know, even that doesn't really sound sustained, right? It just
My gross.
So here I'm slowing down just a tiny bit as I go down the scale, so I don't need to roll quite so fast. Okay, so with that in mind, just need to play a little. Well, let's do just measures 3 and 4 of a Salute to Broadway because there is one roll written in, right? So in measure 4, you have 3 slashes written through the F. That's typically how you're going to see rolls written in keyboard percussion music. So one thing I think we've mentioned this at some other point, but I just want to make sure we remember this. So in measure 2, right, we have a B flat and an A that are written as half notes. Okay, we're not going to play those as rolls, even though they're long notes, because they're not written as rolls. And that's typically the approach we're going to use. The only exception is like if I'm playing, I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious, but if I'm playing some kind of like arranged transcription, I might add rolls in that aren't actually written as rolls, because Bach didn't write them as a roll on a cello, but it might make more sense to do it as a roll on the marimba, just for example. Okay, so let's do measures 3 and 4, focusing on the roll on that F. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so 2 things about that. One is, what's the note value of the roll?
3 beats.
Okay, it is not. It is 2 beats.
And then 1.
Yeah.
So, this is a confusing notational thing in percussion, but very frequently you'll see, so we have a half note with slashes through it tied to a quarter note. We do not roll on the quarter note. Okay, we're just rolling on the half note. The tie just indicates that it's connected to the quarter note. It's connected like in the sense that we don't want there to be a gap between the 2 notes, but percussionists would never roll through beat 3. Okay, so it's da da. So we're off on beat 3 essentially. It's kind of a dumb way to write things, but it is the standard way to write things. If you wanted somebody to roll on beat 3, they would also put slashes through beat 3. And then because it's tied, you would play as one single roll. You could also get rid of the tie.
Just make it a dotted half.
Well, you could make it a dotted half note for sure. But if somebody got rid of the tie but put slashes through the quarter note, what I would interpret that to mean is 2 rolls slightly separated. So like thinking about re-articulating, as if like you're playing a wind instrument and you're playing a half note and then a quarter note and they're not tied together. It's kind of a weird thing, but that is in fact what it means. So let's just do that measure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. 3. Good. Okay, moment of truth. Let's hear it. Actually, we should rotate instruments in a second, but before we do that, let's hear the marimbas play it. 1, 2, ready, go.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I'm sorry, my brain got confused.
1, two, ready, go. Okay, can I hear you one at a time? It's okay if it's not. Great, we're starting, we're just learning. 1, 2, ready, go. Yep, and then so we do want to hear a re-articulation on beat 3. Cool. Eli, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Ella, 1, 2, ready, go. Cool. Okay, so we hear as he gets back, Ella has the hard job because she has to play faster. All right, it starts to get a little get it. Okay, in theory, we want to avoid that. You're beginners, it's gonna be hard for you to avoid that, but I'm just letting you know. The more even it is, the better the roll is gonna sound. So if it starts to get you know, that's ultimately not what we want, but it's okay. Okay. Alexis really has the hardest job. Okay, pretty good. I'll take that. Metallic people, even though we don't really do it.
I want to click the sustain and just hit it once.
1, 2, ready, go. Okay, not bad. So one thing I do want to make sure, and I talk about this with my own students frequently, because still in college people do this, just because it's a roll, regardless of the instrument, keyboard, timpani, snare drum, doesn't mean we accent the first note, right? In theory, we want the whole roll to be about the same volume, unless it's accented. Just like if you're playing whatever instruments you people play, and you have a half note, right? You don't just accent it because it's a half note.
I
You only
have fun sometimes, you never know.
Sure, you only accent it if it's written as an accent, right? Kind of pretty straightforward, but because of the mechanics and how we play a roll, I understand why it happens, but there tends to be a thing where it's like, right? We noticed a little bit of that, like we'll roll through a chorale, right? Okay, it makes sense because of the physicality involved in like starting the next thing, but we don't want to do that. We want it to sound like sustained equal notes. Make sense? So let's do those 2 bars one more time, trying to make sure that we roll evenly through the F, we don't accent it to the best of our abilities. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Sorry if that was confusing. Bars 3 and 4, just to get into the roll. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. Let's skip forward to.
Do you want us to switch instruments?
Yes, please switch instruments, and I'm gonna find a different page for us to play through.
I want the glockenspiel. It's my favorite word for percussion.
I mean, I had a friend in high school who he was learning about percussion and he wanted to play a 4-mallet glockenspiel, so no matter how much I told him don't do that, he still did it.
My duo plays a piece for 4-mallet vibes, 4-mallet glockenspiels.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds
I don't
pretty
know if
good.
I'd recommend that for a beginner though, to take to contest.
I don't know that I would.
And then he was mad because like they only like the people who play marimba. And he's like, yeah.
Well, there is a bias in this country against the vibraphone, I will say that.
Well, yeah.
The vibraphone deserves to be played too. The marimba's not the only important instrument. It's like anyone else youngest child here? Yeah.
You're the
I don't know.
only child.
Hey, it's still the youngest.
Yeah. I'm actually
That's
the
an only
youngest
child move. To be like, yeah, I'm the youngest child.
Oh, you
Depends
think
on
every
which
single
siblings are home, which ones we're counting.
Wow.
The blended family thing's cool.
Yeah, I get it. Well, the marimba's kind of like the star older sibling, and it's like the vibraphone's doing a good job too. Okay, the vibraphone's trying their best.
Yeah, they're the second oldest in the family of
They're
member.
the middle child, number 5.
The glockenspiel
The youngest.
is the youngest,
Is the youngest.
but like definitely the youngest.
That's the
It's like,
second.
what are you doing? Why are you like that?
Is that the oldest? The middle child? That's number 2. The youngest.
Does xylophone is number
Is
2?
number 2.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think we
I like
figured
that
out.
we're personifying the instruments.
Although there's some like spicy new mounts every day. Like have you seen like a slapophone with like PVC pipe?
Or the glass mellophones or whatever. The glass.
Slapophone's not real.
It's real in my heart.
I have seen some glass instruments,
Those are sick.
which
They
are actually
sound
very
cool.
cool. Kind of hard to transport.
It feels like those are a bad idea.
Yeah.
But they sound cool.
There's also something called a lithophone. Is anyone familiar with this? Rocks. They take stones and make them very thin.
That's dope. Keys made out of stone.
They
They're
sound
pretty
cool.
interesting. They sound cool. I don't really know what the big picture
Sound expensive.
utility is. I had a gig once with an ice xylophone. That was pretty epic.
Ice?
Yeah, they made it.
So
out
like,
of
was it
ice.
cold when you had to play them?
No, it
It
was
just
not.
melted.
It was just melting.
It melted during the performance.
What kind of mallets do you use?
I used, well, at first I was like, I should use a nice hard plastic mallet while I shattered the
Chips the ice.
bars. There's a lot of learning. I was like, oh, let's play it. I was like, okay, let's get a new bar in here. We gotta.
I need a new C.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Can we get the guy with the bars? I need a new one. Eventually I settled on like a medium rubber was pretty good. There's like a whole tradition of making ice xylophones
Why?
in Norway.
Why?
It's quite cold up there.
Because they make ice xylophones and they last forever because it's cold.
Yeah. They do it in
Finding an ice xylophone from like the Ice Age and then
Yeah.
just popping on
It was
her.
interesting.
Ice Age xylophone.
But we had to for the performances we just mic'd it because they're not really that loud.
Really?
Yeah, it sounded pretty good mic'd.
I feel like we just shouldn't.
I gotta make art, dude.
Why?
Yeah, that was
You make art with this.
My purpose in life. Okay. Ice xylophones aside, let's.
Is that gonna be on our file?
There would be no question about ice xylophones.
I meant like you bringing one in and like.
No, it's such a production to do. You need like a dedicated person.
To be like carving the
The ice xylophonist?
No, they gotta bring the freezer in. They gotta like have molds for everything.
I suppose you'd have to like make sure it's tuned correctly.
The tuning we weren't so worried about because we just kind of turned it into whatever the tuning is fine. It wasn't a specific key, but you really need like a person whose job it is to deal with the ice xylophone for the gig. So I don't recommend it. I don't really like any of the options that I had.
I think we should play Mr. Frog.
We're above Mr. Frog, you know.
March Militaire.
Was that still on 27A?
Yeah.
No, there's no rolls in that. There's one.
Yeah, there is.
There's one. Okay, here's what I'd like to do. How are we doing on time? Okay, 5 minutes left. Let's go ahead and not actually worry about doing something from the book. We might come back to it in a second, but let's roll through the first 5 notes of an F major scale.
I'm really testing the scalar.
F major scale. So,
It's way harder to roll on
So what we're going to do is play them as half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So F up to C, back down to F, half notes. Make sense? Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Remember the part of the discussion where we're trying not to accent every note? Elizabeth? Ooh.
That's
Oh, you just knew it said clearly.
fine. I just wanted you to hear all the notes on the scale.
Oh, I did. 1, 2, ready, go. Cool. So do you need to think about stickings when we're doing rolls?
Yeah, a
Yes.
little bit.
Tiny bit.
Explain.
You gotta make sure you're
Well,
always
like,
going right, left, so you're not like.
This, if you're like going up, this is more uncomfortable for me than this is.
Yes. So, you need to think about, yes, you need to think about alternating, but that's kind of a given in this situation. You need to think about which hand you're leading with, right? So typically if we're going up a scale, we're leading with our
Right.
right hand. If we're going down, we're leading with our
Left.
lefts. But we still need to think about what Jane mentioned, which is if we're going to accidentals, we need to think about what's going to be comfortable to get up there. Also, we need to think about actually moving the hand before it's time to play the next note, right? So we can't just instantly be in the next place. We have to like move our hands, and so it's helpful to actually think about that physical motion happening. Okay, so, but without accenting, without stopping the roll completely. So it is a lot to think about for just a little action, but it's important that we know that that's our goal. So do it one more time, keeping that in mind. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Okay, so just to demonstrate, I'll take Sam's position. Okay. So I like to start this way, but you could start the other way if you wanted. Okay, so sometimes you can practice this as like actually doing the roll to the off, to the release, I guess I should say. So you see my right hand is actually leading, right? My right hand is actually moving before the next roll is happening. So if I were to roll like this, now I'd actually lead with my left hand up to the next note. It doesn't actually matter so much if you lead with your left or right on a scale, to be honest, because it's actually pretty easy to lead with your left too, even though when you're going up, even though your right is technically, I guess, closer. But the more important thing is to think about the fact that we actually are moving one hand and then the other, right? So they're not moving at the same time. Because if my right hand is going to play the next note first, then it's actually going to get to that note slightly before my left hand. Does that make sense? Left hand leading, right hand leading, left hand, right hand. Makes sense. Let's try the whole scale one time like that, and then we're good to go. F all the way up to F and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, ready, go. Cool. All right, we're out of time. Just a reminder, I'll post on Blackboard, I'm gone on Thursday. I will send you some kind of lecture. We're pretty much done with our mallet unit. We have a little bit more to do, but we're gonna have a quiz soon. So I'm trying to decide, I might actually just make it an online quiz so we don't have to do it in class. But I'll let you guys know about that and about what to do while I'm gone. So I will see you all soon. Thank you.
Is this the real one? No.
For xylophone?
Is it?
Yeah, it's a xylophone. If you borrowed mallets from me, please
You
do
don't
that.
have to bother covering things.
almost grabbing my head and handing it to me.
Yeah.
I suppose most of my stuff is still.
Jane, do you want your book now?